Today, we saw stocks making new all-time highs as the government remains shut down. However, tomorrow after Powell comes out, what's in store for stocks? We come over and look at how the indices fared across the board today. The Dow was down 1.2 points. NASDAQ was up 255 points. S&P 500 up 39 points, with the Russell 2000 being up 2.52. Now we look at advancing issues versus declining. Overwhelmingly, it was to the buy side. We had 60.8% to the buy side. Then we come over and look at the sectors across the board. Really no surprise given the fact the way the NASDAQ traded today. Technology was the number one sector out there. Energy was the laggard out there, followed by real estate. Now, if we come over and look at XLK, once again, just running on up, and look at the MACD indicator showing no signs of weakening at this moment. Then we come over and look at the fear and greed index. We're sitting at 53. We are still over in the neutral territory. Well, today we had the FOMC statement come out, and guess what? Most Fed officials backed lower interest rates this year, but one of the things that they are concerned about is the jobs market, which is really no surprise. Jay Powell has been telling us about that for quite some time. And we look at what the market's priced in at the next FOMC meeting. Yes, the market's still priced in 2 more rate cuts this year. And, is that dangerous out here? Because we look at the dollar index today. Dollar index was on the move up. It did not close at the session high. But then we come over and look at the precious metal gold. Can anybody say new all-time high once again? So what's going to happen to gold when Jay Powell and company continue to lower interest rates? Look at the MACD indicator. We talked about this morning on the live stream. As far back as I could go on the chart, if we go ahead and we draw a horizontal line where MACD is now, and we just scroll this all the way back in time, all the way back, we have never been this high with the MACD indicator. Now, even with that, that does not mean gold cannot continue to go higher. We see right now, gold just continues to march on the way up. On the 30-minute chart, we kind of have a P as in Paul shaped profile. If we start breaking below this lower part of the distribution, watch out. We're probably going to see lower prices to come. Now, we had a major warning come out today. Bank of England warns of a sharp market correction if the AI bubble burst. And yesterday we saw some bad news out in terms of AI, and that had to do with Oracle. Oracle came out and said they're losing money on the NVIDIA GPU rentals. Oracle went down and then look today, right back up. Oracle today was up $4.46. So it's like it never even happened. Then we come over and look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA looks like it's on the verge of making another new all-time high. We come over and look at Apple today. Apple's right up there near all-time highs, looking like it's getting ready to break and go higher. Then we look at the economic calendar. Tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m., Jay Powell is going to be speaking. Now, let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think Jay Powell will throw a little bit of cold water on this blazing hot stock market rally? Or do you think it's going to dump more fuel on it? You can see right here, it says tentative for the unemployment claims. Well, last week, the government was closed down. We did not get any unemployment claims. So I don't think we'll be getting them this week either. So if we come over and look at crude oil real quick, crude oil trying to get right back into this range, and we got to be careful, right? Crude oil, in my opinion, is giving us a heads up. The economy is not as strong as they would like us to believe. They want us to think everything is fine. And yes, the stock market is all-time highs. However, with the Fed worried about the labor market, we know there is something coming up ahead. Now, we look over here at the SPY. SPY today was able to run up, make another new all-time high. MACD indicator is still flatlined down here. And when we get the retracement underway, I am going to be watching this high volume area and wherever the 38% retracement comes in. Each day we continue to make new highs. We simply got to drag the Fibonacci retracement up a little bit higher. On the 4-hour chart, MACD indicator just basically flatlined out. And a lot of people are thinking this is going to be a double top. Well, really, it'd be top number 1, top number 2, and the third top would be likely going ahead and break and go higher. Now, if we look at the SPY on the 30-minute chart, notice today we gapped up. That is a common theme. When the markets gap up, well, guess what? We never come back to fill that gap. And you can see right here, we have the consolidation right here. And as we look, notice we have a minus development area below us. We're able to come back, re-auction the one from yesterday. So if we start getting below this distribution, watch out, we could potentially go lower. But in the meantime, you simply got to hold your nose and simply pray that when you get in, you are not going to be the bag holder before the correction gets underway. On the 30-minute chart, look at the MACD indicator starting to roll over just a wee little bit. And I warned about this in yesterday's video. MACD indicator was below the zero line. It was starting to flatten out. I said we could get a little bit of a bounce. Maybe we'll see some type of divergence set up. That is not what played out. We did get the bounce, but we had zero divergence playing out as the market went ahead and pushed on up. I want to remind you guys right now, Take Profit Traders having a 40% sale off all their valuation accounts, zero activation fee. Take advantage of this offer. Use code epitome at checkout. Now, when we come over and look at the futures markets real quick, we look over here on the 4-hour chart and notice we just simply ran right up. We undid that entire move that we had down yesterday. The market said, oh, that's cute. Hold my beer real quick. We're going to continue to run on up. Then we come over and look at the daily profiles on the 30-minute chart. I want you guys to pay close attention. If we start to pull back tomorrow, we want to pay attention to this minus development area right here. Now, I'm not very optimistic we're going to get a major pullback tomorrow because unless Jay Powell is going to be the catalyst, what is going to be the catalyst to stop the market from continuing to go higher and higher and higher? You can see we're basically closing right here at the highs of the session. We have value high at 6802.5. So tonight, if we break above it and we come back down, well, we can target the point of control. We can look to target value low and even the minus development area, but be careful, all right? We do not want to overstay our welcome to the downside. If you guys were on the live stream today, I can't remember a time I've had so many losing trades back to back to back to back to back. All right. I kept fighting the market. And guess what? The market is always right. But if we look right here, the minus development area starts at 67.81 and drops down to about 67.76.75. Now, we come over and look at the Qs real quick on the daily chart. Can anybody say new all-time high? MACD indicator, however, still is not really pushing and making new all-time highs. However, that does not stop the fact the market continues to go up. We are unable to take out any of these candles low. We can essentially draw a trend line and just basically connect these lows. And you can see we are not breaking down. The market is extremely, extremely strong. Then we come over and look at the 4-hour chart real quick. What do we see? Well, huge MACD divergence is very clear at this point. Here is a prior all-time high. Look at the MACD indicator. Look at where we are now, but the markets keep going up. So until we can break below this trend line, we got to be careful about going on the sell side of the market. We come over and look at the 30-minute chart with the daily profiles, and notice the MACD indicator is showing no signs of weakening at this moment. The NASDAQ has been the strongest indice out there, and it just simply continues to plow up. Keep in mind, today we gapped up higher. However, we were not able to come back and fill that gap today. But I want to show you guys, before we jump into the futures markets, something a little bit different. If we look at the Dow, look at the Dow. Dow actually produced a red candle. The Dow today was strong initially, but then ultimately ended up rolling over. So we'll see if the other indices start to roll over a bit for tomorrow. Now, as we come over and look at the NASDAQ futures, you can see we've already cleared the prior all-time high. Now, this is going to be important. If you guys looking for little scalp trades, this could be a high probability scalp target. Prior all-time high, this comes into a structured breakout point. So that's going to be 25,270.75 down to about 25,240.50. Now, in the event we get any type of sell side signals up here, that is most likely going to be a target I do want to shoot for. And I'm really surprised that we are not making an attempt to come down towards this point of control. We have 2 consecutive untested point of controls, and the market just continues to go higher and higher and higher. Now, as we come over and look at the 30-minute chart with the daily volume profiles, we can see the market just basically blasted on up. All night long, we had a consolidation, and all the market did was consolidate. And then once we broke, well, this is where the problem came in for me. I kept thinking that we were going to turn and go back down, and I kept trying to fight the market. And I got to tell you, it was quite ugly today on the live stream. But nonetheless, the market just rally. Look at the move on the way up. We only had this candle barely breach the prior candle's low. This one right here, and that is the only candles on the 30-minute chart that broke that. Now, something I'm a little bit upset about myself is not realizing we had the consolidation, and once we broke, we were likely going to get a sustained move out of that consolidation. Instead, for whatever reason, I wanted to fight the move. And I think the fact I was looking for the market to, at minimum, come back and retest the lows from yesterday before it's going to go up. If it was going to go up, I think I just got, one track minded, and today I most certainly paid the price for that. Now, if we look at value area high, that's going to come in about 25,335.00. We have the point of control down here at 25,212 with value area low being 25,171. Now, in the event we break above value area high tonight or tomorrow and we start coming down, we can look to pick off any of these high volume nodes as potential targets in the market. But I want to warn you guys, when we get to this level right here, watch out. This is a minus development area, a low volume node. quite often when the market comes back into that area, what do we see? We'll see the market do something like this and then either go sideways or reject right back out. So if you're looking for some huge downside targets, just be mindful of this level. Now that level is going to come in at a price point of 25,230.00. Now, if you guys ever thought about trading with Take Profit Trader and you want to know if I still think they are the #1 prop firm out there, you want to check out this next video right here.